Good afternoon and welcome to the T-Bird Spotlight. Today we welcome Taylor Jacobs from the women's track team. Taylor has a 3.9 GPA and she is a psychology major. So Taylor, tell me a little bit about yourself, even though I know a lot about you, which you don't realize how much I know since your dad is my favorite friend here at school.
Yeah, I've known you for a while. Okay, so I started running in seventh grade. That wasn't track. I started track in my freshman year of high school. So it's been a while, not too long. I didn't start too young, but it's been a while. My main events are the 400, 800, and then 600 during indoor season. Um, let's see, trying to think of something else.
What's your favorite event in the outdoor season?
Oof, that's a tough one. It goes back and forth between the 400 and the 800. But honestly, I think the 4x4 is the most fun.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So tell us, okay, so Taylor um comes from us from Red Mountain. Last year she totally did a phenomenal job. Individually and our track team, cross country and track team did a phenomenal job. So Taylor, can you just don't be humble right now and just tell us how great you are? What did you accomplish last year as a freshman?
Um, for the 600, I came in third for nationals with a 133, I'm pretty sure. And for the 800 for outdoor season, I ran a 211 and I was third. And I didn't run the open four at nationals, but the 4x4 did pretty well. I split a 54, so that's good. But my open 400 is a 56.
Awesome. So tell me about that race. Would you just say it was the 800 that you took third?
hmm Or I
Yeah,
took second for the 800.
yeah, that's what I thought. So tell me, tell it, tell the listeners about that race.
I'm a little
Because something
nervous
happened in
because
that race that you learned a little bit about yourself and
yeah, I feel like in the 800, I don't have that much experience in it. So I definitely have a long way to go on learning. And so for that race, I got boxed in for the entire race except for the very end, like 150 to go. And I was pretty far in the back. So I really had to kick it in the last part. I thought I was just gonna have to settle with fourth, but somehow in the end I like outleaned the girl. But yeah, I ended up with second.
that's so I got goosebumps right now. You probably can't see him. Anyways, but so what do you learn? Like, how do you know not to get boxed in again? Or is getting boxed in just part of tracking to us people that don't run track? Like, is that like normal or happen all
I
the
mean,
time or not happen? Or
there are techniques you can do, I'm sure, but sometimes it just happens. I think I wasn't really thinking about it in the race. I was thinking about so many other things, so I didn't try to prevent it until I was boxing. I was like, oh no, I'm stuck.
how'd you get unboxed?
On the straightaway, people kind of there's more of a gap between people, so that helped a little bit. And some people fell back, but yeah, it was so hard to get out. Elbows did not help.
Yeah. So, well, I'll ask that later. So, how come you chose MCC? It might be a little obvious to me, but
Well, I knew I could trust the coaching. I really liked the program and the people. It just seemed like a good fit. Also, I feel like going straight to university would be a huge step, and I just didn't think I was ready for that. I wanted more time to develop and just get better.
yeah. So, listeners, if the last name Jacobs sounds familiar, it's because Coach Jacobs is her father, and he's been around here for a really, really long time, right?
Yeah, I don't know
We
the
won't,
exact number.
right? We can't count that high. Just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, the track staff produces um, good athletes. So being a runner, and you obviously have a 3.9 GPA. So how do you manage your time between sports and academics?
Um, well, for right now, I'm taking like only two classes in person, and I'm only doing it on Monday, Wednesday, so that gives me time to catch up on like Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So I just make sure I have time for both, and I don't like
Okay.
have a super strict schedule.
Well, in your training, you told me earlier you're training this year with the cross country team.
hmm
So, what time is those practices?
We're at 5:45, so I personally wake up at 4:35. I'm sure I could sleep a little later, but I don't like being rushed. So yeah, wake up at 4:35, leave around 5:15, get there around 5:45. It's a lot.
What time you go to bed?
Ooh, my sleep schedule is not the best, but it really fluctuates, like if I'm at work or not. So it just
Where are you
depends on the
working these
day.
days?
What do you say?
Where are you working these days?
I work at Red Mountain Rec Center. So I'm either on front desk. There's something called Kids Club where you watch little kids. It's like babysitting, but like more
Yeah.
professional. And then
Yeah.
there's there's a rock wall that I belay people on, and then there's a game room that people can you just have to watch and make sure they're following rules and stuff.
Okay. So you
Mhm,
are very busy.
mhm.
So then like with okay, so you got sport, you got your track cross country practice, you've got your schooling, which obviously you do well in, and now you're working like when do you have time to eat?
Um, it sounds like a lot, but there is time in between because my classes on Monday, Wednesday start at 9, so I have time in between practice. Usually we'll get done around like 8, maybe a little bit before that, like 7:30 to 8. So I have time to like get ready and eat a little bit. And then after that, my classes end around 12, so then I'm able to eat lunch, and then I'll go to work around like 2 or 3. So it's enough time, but it's still hard.
Do you map everything out? Like I mean, because Taylor, you're like a high performer and you're being recruited very high. And we'll get into that in a sec. So like, do you have like like what it takes to perform at a high level mapped out daily?
Um,
Meaning like water, obviously, you know, your practices, your recovery, your eating, your sleeping.
Yeah, I don't have it mapped out too much. I feel like there are some things that just happen naturally, like my schedule kind of falls into natural order as like I go to work, I have to go at a certain time. So that kind of happens on its own. And then water, I don't really track water. I feel like I just carry around half a gallon a day and I just try to get through it. So for that, that also I feel like happens naturally. Hopefully, some days I'm dehydrated, but
I was gonna say half a
um,
gallon's not that much for you, is it?
yeah. I mean, I'll refill it if I need to, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. So, okay, now we discussed how busy you are. So when you do have spare time, what do you like to do?
I love to play the guitar. I prefer electric guitar, but I'll play both acoustic and electric.
What's your favorite song?
Ooh, I don't have a favorite song to be honest. I know no one
Or what's
likes
your
that answer,
favorite one to
but
play?
it changes like every day. I don't know to be honest.
Oh gosh, your dad's right. We tell stories about our children to each other.
Oh, I'm sure.
I remember when you got a ukulele.
Yeah, I started with the ukulele and then eventually I got into the guitar.
Do you have an electric guitar now?
Hmm. Yeah.
And what song do you like feel so confident jamming?
Ooh, I don't know. I really don't know what the songs.
You just
It sounds
jam?
bad, but yeah, I don't know, go through a bunch. Yeah.
Who taught you it?
I just taught myself.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
What genre of music do you like?
I either like old rock or just newer stuff like pop or anything like that.
Okay. All right. That's cool. I didn't know that part about you. I mean, I didn't know the ukulele took you to this level.
Yeah. I just like music in general.
Awesome. Okay, so we know you're majoring in psychology. Is there a little reason why, or is it just why did that intrigue you?
I just really like psychology. First of all, it makes school easier when you're interested in the topic. I like
Yeah.
knowing how people think. It's just really interesting. But also, I want to hopefully go into a field of psychology, but I also want to see how far I can take my running after college. So if that all
Awesome.
fails, then I'll have a backup in psychology.
Okay, let's talk about your running. So right now, who are you being recruited by?
I've talked to ASU, U of A, and there's one school from Nebraska. Mainly talking to ASU right now, but eventually I'm gonna reach out to some other schools.
Yeah, and it's all gonna fall into place.
Hmm.
That's so exciting. I wanted you to be a basketball player. Maybe we should
I
tell the
know my
audience
height.
how tall you are.
I'm tall, but I've got no skill for basketball.
Ah, you're tall. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna run at a high level. After running at a high level, and you want to like, I'm assuming when you said take your running far, and that's to compete at the professional level and Olympic trials
Mhm.
and follow in your daddy's footsteps.
Oh yeah.
But you'll dominate, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, so what are you guys, what's your team? Maybe you don't know that yet, but what are you personally, and if you do know about your team, looking forward most in this upcoming season? And we can talk about track
Um,
probably.
for track.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been out to any of the track practices yet, so I'm not too familiar with everyone there. But I think overall the goal is just to do well at meets, place well at nationals, get good points, just be a really good team altogether. Yeah.
What'd you do this summer to was there something that you did this summer that you think is gonna pay off?
Yeah, so last season I didn't really lift during cross country or track. I did a little bit during cross country, but not much. I didn't do a lot of speed work either. So this year in cross country, instead of competing, I'm more focusing on lifting and getting stronger because that's something really important in track, and I was just missing that one piece. So I think that'll help me a lot for this
Ha-
season.
Awesome. Have you noticed anything already with your
Yeah, it
training
feels
with cross country?
yeah, it feels a lot better. I feel a lot stronger and more in control. Before I just felt like I was trying to get through it, but now I feel like I'm in control of what I'm doing.
Great. That's awesome. So what is okay, let's have a little bit of fun. So what's like your favorite personality you like to follow or watch?
My favorite person, like in track.
Track or personality or like I don't it doesn't have to be track. But if it is, that's
Um,
cool.
I'd say my favorite athlete to watch would be a Thing Mo, just because she runs the same events as mine, and it's really fun just to watch how far she's come, and she's really young compared to the other people in her field. So yeah.
Where does she come? Like describe who she is.
Um, she went to Texas A&M, and now she runs pro. She could have kept going in college, but I think she just runs pro now.
Yeah. See,
Mhm.
if this whole weight training stuff and all this you succeed, you can start getting some NIL money now.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be real nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then think of what type of guitars you could buy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Taylor, do you live by any favorite, or not, maybe not live, but do you like any favorite sports quote?
I don't know if it's a sports quote, but something that helps me a lot is everything happens for a reason. Because I've had a lot of injuries in the past, and getting through that's pretty hard. But when you just keep thinking to yourself that it's happening for a reason, it definitely helps you get through it.
Have you figured out what the reason is for some of your injuries?
Yeah, so in the first part, like the beginning of my injuries, I wasn't eating enough, and that was because I was running so often that I had to keep up 4,000 calories, so it was really demanding, no matter like how hard I tried. So I'd have to put olive oil in smoothies or just have a lot of different fats and like make sure I was getting enough in. So now I don't run as many miles and I make sure I'm getting in the right amount of calories.
So you figured out, okay, okay. So
Mhm.
when you said you were running so many miles, like how many miles is that?
To me, it felt like a lot, but it was around like 40 to 50 miles a week. Usually it got up to around 45, and for one week it was at 50, but I got injured after that, so never again.
How old were you?
That was just last year in the cross country
Oh,
season.
is that
Mhm.
your leg? Your
Yeah, the stress
quad or
reaction to my femur. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And you figured out that you needed to eat 4,000 calories a day?
Yeah, well, I figured that one out in my junior year of high school when I broke my first, or I fractured my first rib for no reason. I wasn't doing anything and it just popped. So I was like,
Yeah,
that's
I
really
remember that.
weird. Yeah, so we definitely had to figure things out after that.
You didn't do anything? Like did you cough or
No,
something?
no, I mean, I was a courtesy clerk at Bash's'. That was one of my
Oh,
first jobs, and I was out there pushing carts, and it just, nothing should have bothered it, but it just popped on its own.
oh wow. How long did that take to heal?
Quite a while. For some reason, it didn't heal too well. I'm assuming that's because of the calorie issue or just other maybe medical or nutrient
Yeah.
problem, but it took quite a while, and I don't think it ever went quite back to normal, but I'm doing fine now, so.
That's awesome. So,
Mhm.
like, what's your favorite meal to eat?
Ooh, I'm a very plain person when it comes to food. My favorite food is rice, which is really weird, but if I could, I would just eat rice for like all my meals. And I know I need more, but
What's your favorite, like, uh, protein to eat? Maybe I should say that.
um, I don't know. Well, I guess we can go back to the meal. My favorite meal would be like fried rice and chicken.
Okay,
Yeah, but for
that's
protein, I'd say eggs. I live on eggs.
you live on eggs?
Yeah, it's a staple.
How do you like them?
Uh, hard boiled or just like flat eggs, scrambled, anything really. But hard boiled is nice when you're on the go.
Yeah, you're right. So what do you plan on doing? Well, I guess you might answer that. So what if you had a dream school, where would you want to go after MCC?
Ooh, I don't know. I haven't looked too much into other colleges. I'm not sure if I'd want to go to a bigger school or if I'd want to go to one where it's a little smaller, where they're a little more focused on you. I think if I put in more, time to look at them, I'd have more of an idea. But right now, I think I would choose a smaller school that has more focus on you and your training. So
Okay.
anywhere like that.
All right. Hey, the last question. What's your favorite shoe to wear for
Ooh,
training, not for like
for
going out?
for training, it'd be the Brooks Ghost shoes. Yeah, I feel like I've worn those for a few years and they really work.
So that's the one you would recommend.
Yeah.
See, so maybe we can get someone from Brooks to hear your podcast, and you can get your first NIL offer.
Yeah, true. That'd be a good idea.
All right, Taylor. Well, thanks for joining us today on our T-Bird Spotlight. We wish you the very best and always, always continue to work hard.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.